Hey guys, welcome back for a new clean with me. Today we're starting off in the bedroom and I am making my bed. I've got a fun challenge for you guys today. Something that I thought of, a good way to get you all involved and actually in an upcoming video on my channel. Before we get into that though, I wanted to announce our giveaway winner. Last week I was giving away a $20 gift card to the place of your choosing and we have a winner. So I wanted to announce that right off the bat. So our winner is The Adventures of Robbie and Amelia. Congratulations. Thank you for coming to the premiere. If you guys are new, we go live with a new video every single Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you get there on Monday at that time, you can chat live in the comments when we live premiere. I'll be there. A lot of you guys will be there and you can say hello, you can chat, you can ask questions, any and everything, and you get to watch it first. It's a lot of fun. And my favorite part really is getting to know you guys and seeing what's going on in your lives too. So that has been such a highlight for me every week on Monday. Now let's get into the challenge. So I'm sure you guys have seen these videos, like these little TikTok videos or on Instagram. It's like instant cleaning. So you see somebody walk over to a bed, they snap, and the bed's made. I want to do that, but I want to include you guys in a video like this, where you just walk up to your bed, it's a mess, and snap your fingers, and then record another video where you do the exact same thing, except your bed's made. I would love to put together like a collaboration video with a bunch of my subscribers and just get you in an upcoming one. So I thought that would be super fun. I'm probably going to be collecting video submissions for the next couple weeks. Make sure if you are going to participate, you record your video with your phone or your camera. But if you're doing your phone, make sure you put it sideways so that we can see full screen. It'll fit good in the video. And yeah, all you have to do is send that to contactnaturallybrittany@gmail.com. And they can be just really simple, unedited clips, just you walking over to your bed and snapping. I actually, for doing videos like this, I like to wear slippers. That way I can walk over to the bed, snap, and then leave my slippers where I was standing, make the bed, and then when I come back, then I'll know exactly where to stand because I have those slippers there. So if you want to participate, just send me those 2 little video clips. It can be from your phone to my email, and I'll have that linked down below. So now I'm working on taking down a light. This is something that I use occasionally for photos, or if I'm doing a video and it's in the dark, I'll use it for just some extra lighting so you can actually see what's going on. But this has been set up here for a good month or so, and I just haven't taken it down. It's one of those things, it gets pushed to the side and then kind of forgotten about, except it's one of those things that you see every single day, like it's in our bedroom, and just drives me crazy. And then below it, I had all those receipts, things that I was saving. Some of them were just grocery receipts. Some of them were write-offs. So then I have to, look at all of them. I basically had emptied out my purse and just didn't want to deal with it at the time. But those spaces that you have in your house that it's just something that you just haven't had time to deal with, or you just haven't prioritized it. Honestly, if you've got one of those spaces in your home, or if you're watching right now, just go into your living room or your bedroom or wherever and find one of those spaces. Even if you're not going to do it right now, just write it down and get pumped up during the video and do it. Just get it done. I can tell you now, after having finished this space, it is so nice to just have it back. It was taken over by the mess. Right here, it was a giant pile of linen and stuff. When we moved up into this room, the closet that I have for my clothes was basically a linen closet. And so I went through and whatever we could use, we used. And then I had some stuff just sitting here that I just didn't want to have to make all those decisions with. Looking through all the fitted sheets to see if anything was torn or stained or had holes or whatever. And I think sometimes it's easier to go through, things that are ours. Like we bought them, we used them, we know that they've like gotten some good use, and it's easy to either, toss or donate depending on the condition. But when it's something that is someone else's or something that they've given you, it is so hard, like just mentally, to try and either organize or declutter or give away those types of things. So that is what all these linens are. But I just had a giant, like this whole side of the room was like a giant pile, and I don't think I realized how much it had been weighing on me. But if you've got a space like that, take the time, even if it's not going to be today, even if it's setting aside some time on Wednesday afternoon, give it a good chunk of time, because these do take time, but just do it. And oh my goodness, I promise you're going to feel so much better. I can still remember the first time that I really got in there and like decluttered and minimized our linen closet, like in our old house. And that closet, it was so skinny. It was like the shelves in there, maybe there was 6 or even 8 shelves, but they were only like 4 inches wide. So everything that was in there had to be stacked like a certain way. Everything was folded a certain way. And it always just felt like it was overflowing, until I really was like ruthless and decided, like, why do I need all of these old backup sheets? There's always that feeling of, well, it'd be nice to take these sheets off and then put these other sheets on and, kind of rotate them. But really, at least I find I only ever have one set of sheets that I really love, and like it's what we're using currently. So unless I'm going to buy, 2 sets of the same new sheets, like when I'm getting them, I don't really see a need to keep multiple sets of sheets for the same bed, At least not keeping the old sheets when you get new ones. I don't know why. I think it was just kind of that scarcity mindset of like, well, what if something happens to these and then I need another set of sheets? But in reality, like if we really needed a new set of sheets, we would probably be really excited to buy some new ones and not have like the old ones, that already has like a stain in it or a hole in it, or you just have had it for 3 years and it's got those little pilly things all over, So sometimes being ruthless with areas like that, like your linen closet where you're storing, I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing too. Like my great grandma, she used to always save towels. She'd have all these mismatched towels and they would be like falling apart. But, I think nowadays we kind of don't do that so much. Like you don't need to have, she had maybe 50 towels, and that was like when she was just living by herself, and those were her extra ones. So I think nowadays, at least my feeling on it is just keeping what we need, like the bare minimum for what we need, enjoy what we have, and have like some space for things to breathe. Like most of us don't have unlimited amounts of closet space or cabinet space, and just I always feel so much better when there's space to breathe and you're really just keeping like what you need, and then replace things when they're no longer working for what you need. Don't just save the ones that aren't working and like clog up all the space again. But if you legitimately need new sheets, then get the new sheets, and then, you know, get rid of the old ones. Don't just stash them away.
But I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. I never left a stone unturned, trying to find some love in this crazy world. I feel like I was never heard. All I wanted.
I showed this vacuum last week in our Clean With Me, and I've really been loving it. I mentioned that we had just got it recently from Costco, and I know that they have some really similar ones on Amazon. They're all just slightly different, but I love the lift away feature that you can use it like as the full vacuum, and the canister is nice and big, but also you can lift the canister and that wand off and do like the stairs and stuff. So I would highly recommend this vacuum. We've had it for a few weeks now. And now we're moving on into the kitchen. I was actually waiting for a delivery of flowers. I had a couple events coming up this weekend and next week. So I was waiting on those to come, but they were coming overnight from FedEx. So I didn't know exactly when they would arrive, but I knew that I was going to want to unpack them in the kitchen. So this was definitely on my list of to-dos, was just to tidy up the kitchen. We still had dishes from like breakfast this morning, even a few things from dinner the night before. I can see like an egg basket there. So I wanted to get the dishes done. And if you guys have some dishes to do today, go ahead and pop this video. If you're on your phone, pop your phone up in your maybe your window, like above the sink, and let's tackle your sink together. We could totally get them done in the amount of time that we're working on them today.
What makes it worth the while? You will make it in time. You'll make it in time. Time. You'll make it in time. Time. What makes it worth the while? You will make it in time.
So I was taking out the recycling and I saw that the FedEx guy had dropped off the boxes. So I've got those set up here, but we weren't quite done with the dishes, and I really needed those to be going in the dishwasher before I got started. It's one of those things, like I've mentioned it before, I like to have the dishwasher loaded at night, and then in the morning we don't have a sink full of dishes, but that did not happen the night before. So I still had a dishwasher full of dishes. I had a sink full of dishes. And so I was trying to get those done as fast as possible. Oh, and this is a bowl I just wanted to show you guys. I got it recently from a little shop here in town, and it's got like little foxes and trees and stuff on it. So cute. Anyway, yes, I wanted to get the dishes done and feel like at least I had, kind of the kitchen routine back on track. So, you sometimes you just have to give yourself a little bit of, grace and like forgiveness for deviating, from your plan or your routine. Like sometimes it's more important to spend that family time, or maybe you have had an exceptionally busy work week or something and you get a little off track. But what's more important is, you being the one to choose the priorities. Last night I was like, it's just not going to happen. And I was fine with it. Like I supported myself with that decision and I was fine with it. It was, everything got done and it worked out just fine. The dishes will get done, but sometimes it just doesn't go on the schedule that you kind of initially had in mind. So now we're in the home stretch of the dishes and I'm filling up this food prep container. I'm actually going to be using that to get my flowers hydrated. If you guys were doing dishes alongside me and you finished, or even if you haven't, leave a comment down below and let us know what you were working on today. I would love to hear from you guys, whether you were working on a specific project today or maybe deciding what you were going to do next on your to-do list. And then for me, now that I've got the dishes done, I'm going to go ahead and unbox all of these flowers. So I've got a restaurant that is local to me that likes me to do their flowers on, right now it's about a weekly basis, just their little table vases and usually an entryway display, something for in their bar. And that's kind of what I was prepping. We're going to be making some little arrangements later on today, but anytime that I'm bringing flowers in and they've been shipped to me, they're all shipped dry. So it's important to, clip the bottom couple inches of the stems. I try to strip off any leaves just to make sure that the flowers can really be hydrated without having to give so much attention to those bottom leaves that are going to end up getting stripped off anyway. And we had quite a bit here because I got some things that I was going to be making up for delivery today, but then also some arrangements for next week and some other projects. So I had a lot of flowers here today, and I didn't have all of my buckets in with me. So I was kind of working on some other containers and things that I could do just to get everybody in water quickly without having to go all the way out to the garage. It was snowing actually pretty heavy at this point. So I'm just trying to get everybody hydrated, clean out some buckets that I had from my last delivery. I had like some eucalyptus and things like that I'm actually going to hang on to those. I want to do a really fun, like dried and preserved installation for above our bed. It's like a project that I have in my mind. I'm still kind of dreaming it up, but something that I could make that would be totally dried and would last until I get tired of it. I've got an idea, but maybe we'll do that in an upcoming video and I'll show you guys how it turns out. One of the really fun things with bringing in flowers, that other people and businesses have grown is just the variety of different flowers that I get to work with. Things like roses, I've only ever grown 3 different varieties here on our little farm, but being able to really learn about other flowers and just how they work well in arrangements or what I like, and I feel like I'm really kind of developing that personal style in design. And especially with roses, I'm so new with them. I've only ever used my David Austin roses in things that I've grown and designed, but it's really neat to be able to kind of find new favorites and see how those work and see what I like. I used to always feel like I didn't like roses because I was just so used to the ones that you'd find in the grocery store, and they're not as they don't ever open up fully like when you're getting really good quality roses from professional growers who sell to florists. So it's been a kind of a fun and interesting learning curve with doing designs for events and weddings and that sort of stuff. I'm learning as I go, but it is kind of, having grown my own flowers too, it is kind of a bad thing because I'm so picky with quality, so it's a little nerve-wracking to, bringing in some of the flowers that I've grown myself, and then you want to, when you buy them, you're assuming they're going to be just exactly what you've grown before and the same quality, so it's always a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing. And I think the biggest tip, if anybody out there is a new florist or starting to do designs on their own, I think the biggest thing is just to make sure you account for a little bit of loss. If you were growing them yourself, you would just naturally do that, and you'd only be picking and using the best. So you always have maybe 10-15% stems that you're going to just toss. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned with bringing things in is just make sure you account for a little bit of buffer there, order a little bit more than you're going to need, and then you'll be good. And you can still be picky with your quality and know that your final product's going to look really great. Another change that is a little bit bittersweet is, when I'm growing my own flowers and processing those, I'm able to compost everything, like anything that I cut off, extra leaves, stems, flowers, whatever. But a change with bringing flowers in is I have to just, trash the extra bits from the flowers because I don't know exactly how they were grown. When I'm sourcing locally, like from other farmers here in my area, I can ask them, and I know that they don't use like harsh pesticides or anything that wouldn't be able to go into my organic compost here at our place. But when I'm bringing flowers in, especially, roses and things like that are brought in from out of the country, everybody has different standards. So that's one thing that's a little bit bittersweet in this off season is bringing in flowers that I don't necessarily know, who grew them or how they were grown. So I kind of have to just assume that I can't really compost those. So a little bit bittersweet. Now I'm actually just wiping down the counter because I'm all done with getting everybody prepped. And I remember my mom telling me once, so she works in a hospital, and I remember her office did like a study on basically the germs on shipping, packaging, and boxes, and basically telling their staff why they needed to not, bring in boxes of medical supplies and set them on the counters because they're like filthy. And I think especially like that was before the whole pandemic. And I think especially now we got to be careful with, when you get stuff from Amazon and then you just bring it and put it in on your dining room table or something. You have to be careful. So I do try to remember that. I know like with other things, actually in a video, I think last week, somebody commented that I like swept the floor and then I put the dirty dust pan on the clean counter. And I was like, when she said that, I didn't realize it at the time, but like so gross. But even worse is like germs from outside of the house. So just wanted to share that little tidbit. I know, when we bring something in, then it kind of feels like it's just our germs and, it's our stuff. But especially with packaging, it's good to kind of open it and then recycle that, put the boxes straight into your recycle bin and then not have to set anything like that that's been handled by a lot of people and a lot of places, not bring that in. So little helpful tip. Now I'm just getting started on those bud vases for the restaurant delivery today. I went with a little bit of seeded eucalyptus and I just took a few stems and I broke those down into these littler containers. I'm curious what you guys think about the shape of these. I actually, I usually use ones that are a little bit skinnier and a little bit taller, but I wanted to try something new. They've been getting deliveries from me every week and I didn't want them, I don't want them all to look the same. I want some variety. Obviously the flowers I'm using and the colors are completely different each week, but still I want the, bud vases to look fun and interesting and different. So I was trying these. I don't know if they're my favorite just because the top bit is so wide. So they really require more flowers to be a little fuller. And then of course I was using flowers that weren't like as inexpensive. So it probably would have been better if I did this with some less expensive blooms and like really, made them really full. But it was a nice change. So I've got the Orlea is what I had just placed, those white, taller, like fluffier twinkle blooms. And then these ones that I'm placing now that almost look like a black eye, they are anemones. And these guys, they can be pricey, but they are so pretty. I think they look great in, bridal bouquets, and they can be so versatile for the season too. Like for the spring, they're beautiful. For the winter, they're beautiful. We have a lot of snow right now, and so I thought they would just look just so nice, with all this white backdrop. And we've got a lot of, up here in the mountain, we've got a lot of fir trees and pine and, wreaths and things like that. So I thought these would be kind of a fun, unexpected, something nice to have for their tables. And then these are some little mums, just like a red, almost a burgundy mum. I thought they'd be good to add in a little bit of color, and those guys will open up over the next few days.
We are silver line, one of a kind, you and me.
Now I've got all of the bud vases packed up. I like to have them really tight and kind of compact with some paper wrapping, just so that nothing gets like damaged or moved around for delivery. And then the last thing that I'm going to do today is make this entryway centerpiece. I wanted to do something a little bit more like sculptural and like a little bit more styled than the ones that I've done in the past. I'm trying to make something that fits in really well with their like main front desk, because they're not only a restaurant, but they also do lodging and stuff too. So I wanted to have something that would look nice, last, and also give them kind of some pops of color, because I wanted to, have it really make an impact at their front desk. And I do know that they like color. I think not last week, but maybe 2 weeks ago, I did another one with some really fun like pincushion flower. You guys will have to check that out if you're into flowers and you missed it. But we did some really fun like oranges and yellows and like just some fun bright pops of color. And then my theme for this one is more of like reds, pinks. I found a really nice like icy pink protea, and they're really cute. These stock here, they're more of a peachy pink color, and we've got some wax flower too. So those kind of white, pink, red tones that look really good. Like I said, with what we've got in the landscape right now, which is snow and pine and fir trees.
There is no space for this.
now I've got all my stems prepped, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our base. I think the camera was out of focus at the very beginning when I started placing my greenery in. And you'll also notice in the compote vase that I have here, there's kind of like a grid on the top, and there's also a wire frog. So that's what I'm using to get everything to kind of stay where I put it. And that is what helps you make these like really sculptural bouquets, something that's not super tight. Like you don't have to rely on the stems holding each other. I'm able to just place them basically where I want them, but I don't have to use anything like floral foam or, you know, things that have a lot of chemicals in them. So I've just got the tape making a grid over the top, and I usually like to do those, you know, like the night before that I'm going to be making arrangements, and then I can just kind of mindlessly do that. And then when it comes to arranging, I can really just be creative and kind of have like a free form design. This protea here, so pretty. These guys are expensive. So I literally only bought one stem, but I'm mixing that with the leucadendron, those two behind it. And I thought making a little trio here would make it almost look like how it would grow in nature, you know, because flowers don't usually grow just one by themselves, or they're usually in like a cluster or a grouping. So I thought it was kind of a nice statement there, and having the kind of supporting actresses behind looked nice. And then I'm just gonna kind of do this like asymmetrical structure here. So we've got like heavy and weighted on that bottom front with the cluster, and then I'm adding some more longer, like thinner but reaching stems here. A few in the back as well. And this piece here is being set up basically to be seen just from the front and the sides. It's going to be at a front desk, but nobody's going to be looking at the back. So I'll do a little bit of work on the back, but it's definitely not something that I'm real worried about because I know nobody's going to see it.
Just wanna feel me, just feel me breathing. I know this feeling won't go away. And this all feels like electric power. All I want is to turn it off. Still got the sun, but still got the summer.
I know I said in the beginning that I wasn't a big fan of roses, but this red rose here is like exactly the reason why I'm starting to kind of fall in love with them. There's such a variety in roses, and just working with this, you know, stems individually and the petals, reflexing those out a little bit. They're all so different and unique, and they come in so many different forms rather than just the typical like really tight, almost like a bud at the grocery store. There's just such a variety. And this is a romantic antique rose here, this pink one. It's more of a garden rose. And these are just gorgeous. They open up and they're really loose and romantic. And there's just so many different types. So this is something that I'm kind of learning about now while I don't have my garden going. And local growers without greenhouses really aren't able to, you know, produce the same flowers that we could all summer long. I'm kind of getting into roses and learning a lot more about them, and kind of what I'm excited about right now with flowers.
Let's do an IRL hide and seek. I need some downtime. I disappear into the shadows. I'll be facing all my fears. I'll take a break, away from you, from all lies. Now I'll be
I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along and seeing some of these projects that I've been working on today. And then also, tackling my to-do list and getting things done around the house. If you've been working on your list, then make sure you let us know down in the comments what you've been doing or what you are trying to amp up to do. And make sure you come back next week on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm planning on uploading another Productive Monday video, but I wanted to share some of our new house plans and kind of an update on that and some inspiration and things that I am getting excited about on the decor front. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next week on Monday. Bye, guys.